Hello and welcome back YouTube. I'm your host, Backlit, coming back with another video. I have another keyboard case review for you. This one's a little bit different. This is for your iPad Mini 6. I have reviewed about every type of keyboard case out there. I have reviewed the best from the worst. There are so many keyboards which are the same. Like Snug and Typecase, for example, it's the same thing, rebranded. Which brings me to today's video, in which I have a keyboard case that essentially turns your iPad Mini 6 into a Microsoft Surface tablet. The king of the hill is still the premium keyboard case, which I'm going to do a 30-day review of it here in the near future, but I have a lot of good things coming. The month of June will be feature packed with 3 videos a week for the whole month. So busy. Today's episode is about a product from Alibaba. I occasionally check Chinese websites for upcoming products or anything that's not quite available on Amazon. Eventually it will trickle down to Amazon. I have a few more keyboard case reviews in the pipeline. This keyboard, it goes for about 24 bucks off Alibaba. Shipping, 11 bucks. It's about 35 bucks out the door. Inside the box, you are given the instructions, which it's your pretty standard stuff. A USB Type-C to Type-A cable, which is really good because micro USB should be dead in 2022. That's all what you get in the box. It's your pretty standard stuff. It's a fake leather material. It's not too bad. It still feels really good. The case is built pretty much like a tank. I might just keep the case and take it with me wherever I go because it feels really good, really strong, and the kickstand is really top notch. Like for cases by themselves, this one is really superficial. Essentially, this does transfer your iPad Mini 6 into a Microsoft Surface tablet, which can be a good thing or a bad thing. Some of the highlights for the hardware for the Surface tablet is the ability to tear off the keyboard from the tablet and the hinge mechanism on the back, which has been done really well. I still feel as if the Greenlaw and the premium case are the two best keyboard cases for the iPad Mini 6. This keyboard case, the battery is 150 milliamp. It's made out of pleather material with ABS material. It's rated at 100 hours of usage without backlight, before charging 30 hours with backlight. It charges via USB Type-C. Standby time is 120 days and it weighs roughly about a pound or so. The case is pretty well built. The keyboard is just your typical Mini 6 keyboard case. It's a bit small and a bit cramped. If this is your particular style of keyboard, this would be good for you. Some people like folding keyboards, some people like all-in-one. So yeah, two kinds of people in the world. Which do you prefer? Comment and like down below. It's your typical layout. They are not mushy, they're pretty firm, which is good because it leads to a better typing experience. If I wanted to rate this out of 1 out of 5, I would give this a 3 or 3.5 out of 5. This keyboard is still better than all the other cheap sub $30 ones. So it's a little bit better than your average keyboard, but Greenlaw, Snug, and Premium one are still the top 3 keyboard cases to look out for. The backlight on this keyboard is pretty good. The manufacturers are switching from single color to RGB coloring, basically every color of the rainbow. You are given 10 different color options of presets, with a single white color for you professionals out there. You can't be in the office with RGB colors unless you're smashing Diablo 3. You are given 3 modes of brightness. It's a little bit wonky. Normally the button layout is much different. Command button is usually on the bottom by the right on the spacebar, but this layout is a little bit different. So it's on the top of the F keys for brightness and color changing. That's not necessarily a bad thing. I just wanted to point that out. You are also given the ability to connect 3 different devices to this one. The pros are its backlit RGB colors of the rainbow. It's pretty firm and you can connect up 3 different devices. The bad is that it's just kind of meh. It's just meh, average at best. It's not a bad thing. It's just like eating regular rolls instead of Hawaiian rolls. Bread is life, but better bread is just buttery. The keyboard, well, it detaches via magnets on the back. The magnets are pretty strong. Don't worry about them falling off. Overall, this is a pretty well built case with an average keyboard. You are given raised awake. The keys don't actually touch the screen when closed. It has USB Type-C for charging. There is one glaring flaw with this device. The trackpad, which usually is a good thing to have, just not here. iOS received trackpad and mouse support about a year or so ago for their iPad line of tablets. This one is kind of worse. There's a reason why there's a shortcut for the ability to turn it off. The trackpad is fairly underwhelming, as it will work but not great. The gestures on this trackpad are very underwhelming. One finger gestures will work just fine. Click to drag works. Left click on the trackpad is a little bit wonky. There is some flex. 2-finger navigation is kind of a poor experience. When you navigate up and down the scroll, it feels jittery, it goes way too quick, and tends to have a terrible time. I'm just touching it and it's going a million miles per second. You can do pinch to zoom, but it's way too oversensitive, way too zoomy, worse than a Husky. There's no swiping back and forth between web pages. 3-finger gestures work just fine. You have multitasking, switching between apps. Swipe up to return to the home screen. Swipe down to kind of return to your last app. It's a little bit wonky. 4 fingers do screenshots. But with these type of keyboard cases and trackpads, it's kind of like the default go-to. Offering a trackpad like this is equivalent of offering a 2 megapixel macro lens. Doesn't mean it's always better. I'm looking at you, Huawei, and Xiaomi. This brings me to the snug or type keyboard case. The trackpad had some problems. It's not really that great. It's not really good. You get a netbook style user experience. This one, it's like a Surface style experience, so it's a different form factor, which I do like. Think of the Greenlock keyboard, but more robust. In conclusion, with this device, it's not bad. It's got some good, it's got some bad. It just depends. Some of the good things about it: 1, it has a very different form factor. It's just like a Surface Pro. 2, the hinge on the back is really fantastic and sturdy. Like they got this down right from the start. 3, the case itself is really well built and feels really nice. 4, drop protection. 5, you're given raised awake. 6, the RGB backlit colors. 7, the detachable keyboard via magnets. 8, it charges via USB Type-C. Some of the bad things I don't like about it, I wouldn't really call the keyboard really bad. It's just kind of average. That's the first one. 2, the control key on the bottom right instead of being on the left, that kind of throws me off. 3, the trackpad. 4, the empty gap in the middle of the trackpad. 5, the flex and creaking on the trackpad. 6, poor multi-touch gestures on the trackpad. So I hope you see a theme with this. Those are the only bad things about this device, is basically the trackpad. If it didn't have such a poor trackpad, or didn't have one as an afterthought, this probably would have been within my top 5 keyboard cases, simply number 4. But with the trackpad, it doesn't hold a candle. Going forward, I would recommend this device for the form factor alone. And everything I listed below, if you can get past the trackpad, this is a fantastic case. A bit like the Surface tablets, you can pick this off Alibaba for 35 bucks. It takes about 3 weeks to get here. So, like always, I'm your host, VLD. Smash a bell and subscribe. If you haven't, stay tuned for upcoming products for your favorite Apple gear. This month of June will be a pretty well-packed month. Peace.